Oh, what did I feel when we were packing everything up as a group and heading home? It was a sense of disbelief.
It was a sense of fear, a sense of dread, a sense of lack of control.
Mine was a bit of confusion.
Uncertain about what was going on, really.
That Friday, packing everything up, knowing that there's a good chance on Monday we're working from home.
I truly believe we'll be back in person in 2 weeks.
And the whole time we're going, okay, can we stay where we are?
My very first thing was like, okay, so what do we do? Like, how do we keep going? How are we gonna do what we're supposed to do?
One of the things that we were going through as an organization right at that time was some leadership training. And one of the books that we were studying was Everyone Matters by Bob Chapman.
If we really believe that everybody matters, we had to make decisions that followed through on that.
And in that book, Bob described what they did, what his organization did, and they very much used a shared sacrifice model to get everyone through that crisis.
Shared sacrifice for our team meant obviously reducing hours so that nobody got laid off. That at the time I was new to the organization, so things went well, then you could eventually come back up to your normal hours.
The shared sacrifice model kept everybody working as much as possible. The pain with the reduced work and whatnot was shared. There was no favoritism, and it allowed everybody to get through together.
I wasn't surprised that TULLOCH made it work. I had no doubt in my mind that we were going to go into this as a team, and we were going to come out of it with, as many people happy and healthy, and, as many hours as we could get onto everybody's plates as we could. I felt very fortunate.
Toughest moments as a leader. There was lots of them. For me personally, it was probably just day in and day out trying to put forth that face of optimism and confidence.
So at the time, really the challenges were surrounding the uncertainty in the economy, in the work landscape, the essential services. Were we an essential service, were we not? There was a short period of time there where we really didn't know the answer to that, and it was very uncertain as to what work would look like for everybody. There were lots of questions that none of us had answers to.
I think the biggest challenge we faced was trying to make decisions without knowing what the right answer was. So we had to try to navigate that, and knowing whatever decision we made was going to have a big impact on the people here.
Lots of virtual calls. I hope we actually over-communicated. That was our intention anyway. Just lots of calls with different offices, different groups, describing how we're going to get through this together. And I think the initial reaction was a sense of relief that everyone still had their job, and even a sense of optimism that we're in this together and we don't know what's coming down the pipe, but we'll figure a way to get through it together.
I distinctly remember in the first few weeks, Mark Tulloch had an all-hands call where he told everyone that their plan was to not lay anyone off. We were going to reduce work hours, cut everyone's by about 8, and see how things would go. At the time, I was about 6-7 months into the organization, and a lot of my friends had been recently laid off from their jobs or significantly reduced hours at their companies. So I remember feeling quite grateful at the time.
So when this came about, it was kind of like we all stopped and we're like, Mark, what do we do? What's the plan? And then immediately there was a plan. And then 2 days later, there was a new plan. And as the regs were changing, and every time we stopped to think, what does this mean? Does this mean that we can work? Does this mean that we're not allowed in the office? It was like, hold on, TULLOCH memo coming through, everything explained. And our hands were held throughout the whole process, and I was grateful for that.
Again, if we want to be that caring organization, we have to consider all staff when making decisions and tough decisions. And so I think our why statement was one of our guiding lights, guiding principles that allowed us to get through COVID the way we did.
We used our why and how statements to help guide us as we make decisions, so that we knew that we weren't making decisions based upon how we felt, but around the values that we had.
Our how and our why statements, just like they do now, back then they guided how we act and how we behave and how we chart a path forward. So that helped in our decision-making process and ultimately led to how we handled the situation as a company, which was full transparency, shared sacrifice and trying to spread the work around as much as possible such that everybody could keep working.
I was told when I entered the organization that they embodied their why and how statement, and I had to trust that they would, and they did.
My opinion of TULLOCH didn't change because I already had it. It was already in such high regard. Like I kind of expected that they would live out their why statement. I knew that I would be taken care of. I knew that we would do everything that we possibly could to make sure that people could continue doing their jobs.
So to everyone who stood by us during that time, during COVID, I just want to say thank you. Thank you for supporting us. Thank you for walking alongside us as we tried really hard to make decisions to help the company move forward in ways that met the needs of the people here.
From the bottom of my heart, thank you for your loyalty, for your level of commitment. We could not have gone through COVID without that level of commitment that we saw from staff. It's something that I will truly never ever forget.